There's a new survey out today, and I want to explain it in a way I think will be different than anybody else. Red states give more money to charity than blue states. This is really not news. The 8 states with residents who gave the highest share of their income to charity supported John McCain in 2008, while 7 of the states with the least generous residents went for Barack Obama. The message today at gbtv.com at 5 o'clock is freedom or free stuff, but you only get one. Freedom or free stuff. Choose. The 8 states who gave the highest share of their income, Utah, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, Idaho, Arkansas, and Georgia. What do they all have in common?
They all went Republican.
They all went Republican, but what else?
They're all religious states.
They're all religious states. Utah, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, Idaho, Arkansas, and Georgia. Pretty much all religious states.
Mm-hmm.
The least generous states, Wisconsin, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire. Wow.
Mm-hmm. All liberal, all Democrat, all less religious.
Okay.
You know, in Connecticut, pretty wealthy state.
Pretty wealthy
Probably,
state?
is it the wealthiest state or is Alaska?
One of them.
It's certainly top.
Yeah, it's
3 probably.
Yeah, it's one of them. Okay, Wisconsin, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire. It interests me here that with an exception of Wisconsin, they're all New England.
Yeah, Connecticut number 3, by the way, wealthiest state.
And then everything else is either Mountain West or Deep South. Okay. The way I want you to look at this, I want you to consider if there is trouble on the horizon. Remember, it's freedom or free stuff. If you have charity that is already going on in your community and things would really break down, where are you most likely to get freedom? In the Deep South and the Mountain West. Where's the most likely to get free stuff while it lasts?
Northeast.
In the Northeast. You better be around like-minded people. Because those in New England will be the first to despair because they won't see the charity in their own circle. And they'll be the first to despair because the government will shut down the charity. They'll shut down. They won't have the money. The states won't be able to take care of it. And so people won't know what to do. They'll have to learn it all over again. They'll have to learn that I am my brother's keeper, not the government. And as these states become more and more desperate, they will claw for more and more free stuff, which will cause them to be less and less free. I think you look at this poll in a way of, where do I live? Where am I? Who am I surrounded by? If I live in the New England area, I'm concerned. I lived in Connecticut. I lived in New York City. I live in Texas for a reason. I will tell you that the South and the Mountain West, they are the places to live around like-minded people that will take care of each other.
And those who will fight the hardest for freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fight the hardest for freedom. And so much, and I know this isn't the direction you're headed, but so much this obliterates the narrative that Republicans are stingy, that they're selfish, that they don't want to, that they take care of themselves and nobody else.
It's always been
this
a
is
lie.
Garbage.
Yeah, it's always been there. Are you surprised by any of this? I've seen
No,
this study 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
They do this study every election year. They do this study. Who's the most charitable? It always shows the small government people, the religious people, and the conservatives are the most charitable. Period.
Always.
Always. Always. So this is like, cutting income tax raises revenues for the government. You have it in black and white mathematics over and over and over and over again.
They don't care.
They don't care.
That doesn't fit their definition of fairness.
Exactly right. So I look at this as where do I need to be? Who do I need to be around? Who gets it? How can I help them? If you look, the regions of the country that are deeply religious are more generous than those that are not. Two of the top states, Utah and Idaho, have high numbers of Mormon residents who have a tradition of tithing at least 10% of their income to the church. The remaining states in the top 9 are all within the Bible Belt. You have Bible-believing people in all top 10. That tells you something. And it also should tell you why we should be holding our ground for the Bible. There's one other survey that's coming out, or one other set of facts. Stu, do you have the facts of the people who are now entering college this year? It's a really interesting, those who were born, I think, in 1990.
Yeah, a college puts together a list to have their professors understand the people they're about to teach. And they just put together a bunch of facts, for this generation of entering college students born in 1994, Kurt Cobain, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, Richard Nixon, and John Wayne Gacy have always been dead. They should keep their eyes open for Justin Bieber and Dakota Fanning at freshman orientation. They have always lived in cyberspace. This one's amazing. And I don't know why this is true, but this is one of the ones they put. The biblical sources of terms such as forbidden fruit, the writing on the wall, Good Samaritan, and the Promised Land are unknown to most of them.
Because most of them are no longer being taught the Bible. We are not teaching the Bible. Think of a society, think of what this generation becomes without these phrases and knowing what they mean. Listen to that.
To these kids, the Good Samaritan is the government.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's who they consider.
That's how you can get them. That's how you can,
charitable.
You can tie into the Jesus story easy by saying, see, they don't understand. The Bible says the Good Samaritan. They don't know the story.
Yeah, this would be a great series for Liberty Treehouse, the show on GBTV for kids, because teaching the stories behind something like the Good Samaritan, it's not it's not Barack Obama's new program. That's not what the Good Samaritan is. Forbidden fruit, the writing on the wall. Good Samaritan.
Hang on. Forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
Forbidden fruit. So in other words, something that looks delicious, might be delicious to the taste, might smell good, might seem to be good for you, but it's forbidden because it unlocks doors you do not want to unlock. The forbidden fruit. If you can't understand that story of forbidden fruit, you've got a real problem. How do you teach? There are some things in capitalism that you don't go down that road. It might seem like a good deal. This is the problem in business school now. Business school doesn't know how to teach business because people are like, did they make money in the end or not? Well, yeah, they did, but sometimes that's forbidden fruit. You don't have the biblical understanding of that. How do you teach it?
The writing on the wall, Good Samaritan, and the Promised Land.
The Promised Land.
Yeah.
Think of the ramifications of the Promised Land, not knowing what that even means. Wow. These are the kids entering college now.
And perhaps worse than that, Robert De Niro is thought of as Greg Focker's long-suffering father-in-law, not as Vito Corleone or Jimmy Conway. Bill Clinton is a senior statesman whose presidency they have little knowledge. That's how he's known.
Well, these kids were influenced. The first to be influenced by sex. Oral sex is not sex. They were what? 8?
No, they would have only been. If they were born in '94, they would have been 4 years old. So it was a little older than that. It was the 12-year-olds at the time that were really, I think, highly influenced by that whole thing, where oral sex wasn't sex, and depends on what your definition of is. And there's been many studies that have proven that had an impact on that generation.
Yeah, how about this one real quick? One more. Exposed bra straps have always been a fashion statement, not a wardrobe malfunction to be corrected quietly by well-meaning friends.